You! You've put in hours of work to create the perfect bad guy. Built up this confrontation over sessions and sessions. Months have led up to this one big fight. And your players effortlessly demolish them. It's not even a contest. It's a one-way track of pure pain, straight from your player's fists to your bad guy's face. And it's one of the best feelings in the entire game. Let your bad guy die. Like a bitch. Let the players crush the final fight like it was never even a competition to begin with. If they tricked them into a trap, got them to ingest poison, or found a way to bring a friendly dragon as backup, sit back and watch them kill your bad guy. Don't save the NPC. Don't fudge a roll to break them out, or double their hit points, or add a big new strong attack on the fly. Just let the bad guy die. I am not saying that you shouldn't balance your encounters as you go. I'm not saying that if you made a mistake and you realize the bad guy's too weak, that you shouldn't do some on-the-spot buffing to make them feel right. You should do those things. That's a sign of good DMing. If you made a mistake, correct it. My point isn't that you should avoid turning in encounters dials entirely. My point is that if the players earn the upper hand, give them the upper hand. If they put in the work, if they do something clever, and place themselves in a position to totally crush a fight, let them. It works out really well sometimes. I once played in a game ran by my friend Parker, and the party was coming to the end of a battle royale arc. We were just about to confront the big dick weasel that trapped us into this mess, Kravis Raknor, a strong psionic and a corrupt noble with a rather stern, intimidating demeanor. Classic bad guy stuff. Instead of going into this situation head-on, like we normally do, we decided to plan things out. Throughout the previous sessions, we had put in a lot of effort into learning about Kravis's plans. We had also built up relationships with tons of NPCs, getting into good graces with several people who were also looking to take down Kravis. With this combined power of good information and good allies, once things actually kicked off between our party and Kravis, we had a lot of cards in our hand. We made our way to Kravis's hideout in the arena and set a plan in motion. There were lots of moving parts, but the core idea was this. We used an allied NPC to lure Kravis out of the building he was in and lead him down a bridge we previously bottlenecked to lead right into a snare spell. We go through several skill checks to actually make this plan work. Pass with flying colors. Kravis runs straight into the snare spell and yoink! The second he's strung up by that rope, we start laying into him with as much damage as we can muster, just throwing off all of our biggest spells. Once it gets around to his turn, he fails his saving throw. He's still stuck up in the air, still an easy target, and he never got down from that trap. The fight lasted 3, maybe 4 rounds, and his turns mostly consisted of flailing around and failing to defend himself. The strong, intimidating demeanor was gone, and the final boss fight of this arc was anything but close. The actual fight was one of the easiest things I've ever done in D&D, but it's also one of, if not the most, memorable fight I've ever had. The fun combat mechanics the DM came up with were hardly a factor as we found a way around them, and the tense, dynamic boss fight that was planned became a one-way slobber knocker. The look on Parker's face was a mixture of happy laughter with a bit of pain, and if I had to wager, a little disappointment. She put in a lot of work to make a cool boss for us to face, and he was being thrown around like a rag doll. Now, Parker could have let Kravis out with a fudged roll behind the screen, but she's a damn good DM. She knew what we were doing was more fun. It was more satisfying, and she knew we put in the work to earn this outcome, even if it wasn't the kind of fight she was going for. Sure, it wasn't a stereotypically climactic end, but it was undoubtedly awesome. And still very narratively fulfilling. We all felt accomplished. This was the culmination of our prior investigations, our sessions spent befriending fellow NPCs, and our strategizing that took an hour or so to come up with, and multiple skill checks to execute. While the fight might have been really easy, it wasn't a result of zero effort. It was the reward we got for all this previous work, for beating a dozen or so prior challenges. So we got to experience the feeling of everything going perfectly according to plan, which can be kind of rare in D&D. There's a difference between balancing the game on the fly to provide a better experience and moving the goalpost when your players get closer. Even if you don't intend to, it can be something you accidentally do. If you get too invested in how you wanted a fight to go, how you wanted the bad guy to be perceived, how you wish the climax felt, if you're trying to create big moments and epic twists, that can all cause DMs, myself very much included, to accidentally move that goalpost while you're attempting to provide your players with the intended feeling. Your heart's in the right place, but instead of leading them to that feeling, you can end up desaturating the experience for your players. You can rob them of other positive emotions while you're trying to curate that specific one you had in mind. I usually get anxious when I'm DMing, and sometimes it's bad. I can struggle to read the table, or at the very least, struggle to trust my ability to read the table, and some sessions, I will feel like everything is going completely wrong, while my players are absolutely fine. When I'm in this kind of hyper-negative mindset, that's when I'm most likely to make this sort of mistake and push to fix the bad session by pushing things towards what I think will be good for the players, while ignoring that they're currently enjoying the thing we already have. If you can relate even just a little bit, know that it's important to occasionally take a step back and just pause for a second. Breathe. You're allowed to do that. You can take a moment and actively read how your players are feeling. If you're still struggling with it, you don't know how to gauge it, just ask. Unless you play with a bunch of assholes, they should be more than happy to just tell you. And then you can figure out if you actually need to fix anything. And this is not exclusive to combat, nor is it exclusive to the feeling of easily succeeding either. It can go in the complete opposite direction. Sometimes when your players are getting their asses kicked, you need to step in because it's unfun. Other times, you should let them get their asses kicked. If they truly made that bed, it can create a positive gaming experience for them to lie in it. There is a balance to creating an appropriately challenging game. And that balance includes letting go sometimes. Fights deserve variety, and your players deserve to feel like their efforts leading up to an encounter, or lack thereof, matter. Players should not be forced to experience the exact same level of challenge with each boss they take on, with you tweaking the dials to make sure it's just right every single time. If they grab a dial and yank it in their favor, let your players reap those rewards. And if they push that dial right into the hands of the enemy, let them suffer the consequences. As a player, I might not always be smiling when my character gets their shit rocked, but that does not mean I'm not having a good time. Watching that character go through a bad experience, especially if my own actions caused it, can be incredibly satisfying, just in a different way. I don't think it's possible to perfect this skill of knowing when to step in and by how much, but I do think we should always do our best. And part of this skill is knowing when not to watch the dice fall as they may, to see our players fumble with their mistakes, and to just let the bad guys die. Look, I know you haven't been very good at managing your money recently, but I'm great at it, so why don't you join the Patreon and hand your money over to me? If you want to see me make better quality content more frequently, you can start supporting the channel for only $3 a month. There's a link in the description and an important poll taking place where you can tell me what kinds of benefits would incentivize you to join the Patreon. Thank you very much.